Hello, it's Thursday, January 18th, I believe it is. And we're doing a little maintenance on the bus. So I noticed earlier today that this backup light had moisture in it. Enough that you could see like a level of water building up in the lens. I'll show you where that thing goes. Right there. So we got other things going on too. These have seals that seal the light fixture to this plastic bezel here, and this gasket is kind of toast. You can see it's cracked right there. It wasn't even in the right place right there, just barely sealing there. It's cracked there, and so yeah, we've got some work to do. The insulation here is completely dry, so I'm glad I caught it in time before it leaked into the bus. So that's what they look like when they're installed. This one's okay, so I'm only going to work on the one. I just now deciding. So first thing I did is I just took out the 4 screws from here, and I learned that there's these like silicone rubber gaskets, 4 of them. Where's the other one? Right here. That seal around the screw to keep the screws from leaking, which is kind of nice. But this sealant that they use right here has gotten like gummy. I guess that it's aged and it's failed. It's not really, doing what it's supposed to do. Maybe if the screws actually, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, the screws were a little bit on the loose side, so that may be a contributor. But I couldn't just tighten it and hope it was going to be fine. I needed to get the water out of it. So in order to get, oh look, there's some water inside the LED fixture as well. Look at that. So I'm gonna have to take these screws out to get the water out of that. I don't want this to fail. I can't imagine what Thomas is gonna charge me for one of these things. All right, I just noticed that. So I'm gonna start with getting all this crud off of here. So I'm gonna have to find a solvent that's gonna help. I'm thinking mineral spirits, because that won't hurt the plastic. I'll try some isopropyl alcohol. Brake clean will be my last choice, I think. All right, I'm going to pull these 4 screws out and see what I see. Probably these 2 pins will pull right out of this housing. Okay, so I felt it important to make, actually the first thing I do is to seal this thing up. So in case we get some rain, I'll put another piece of tape on that. In case we get some rain while I'm working on this thing, I don't have to worry about it leaking into this. I left the bottom open so it can ventilate. I think I'm on the right track with this. Oh, that's pretty cool, isn't it? And it is wet. So we're gonna let this dry out. Just let it sit there, I guess. I need to get a Ziploc bag and put all my parts in so we don't lose anything. Let's see, 4 little screws, 4 big screws, 4 little donuts. All right, now I can work on cleaning this and this. Okay, it's Friday, January 19th. And we're back on this. It's all dried out. It sat overnight. I took some Scotch Super 33 Plus electrical tape, and I put it around the whole edge of this to mask that area off, and also on the lens. Everything's clean. It took about 2 hours to get all the crud off of this thing. I tried isopropyl alcohol first, and it didn't do much at all. And then I used mineral spirits, and it didn't dissolve the goop, but it left an oily film. So when you did scrape off the putty that was on there, it didn't adhere back. So it made cleaning up pretty easy. Then I used gasoline, and the gasoline actually would dissolve the goop a little bit. And it was just a lot of rubbing and paper towels. I tried some brake clean, and it did start to dissolve the plastic a little bit. So gasoline was the better choice. So now we're ready to put this back together. I got the 4 little quad rings over the 4 screw hole parts. This is all ready. The light is installed and it's tight. The 4 screws here are tight. I've got some RTV silicone that hopefully this is going to work for us. It feels soft in the tube, but when I punctured it, it wouldn't come out. So I think it's starting to harden up. If we're lucky, once it starts to flow out, it'll be okay. Maybe I need to get a drill bit and ream out some of the RTV that's at the end here. But what we're going to do is we're going to put a small bead all the way around the lens, and then set it on there, put the 4 screws in, and then we'll leave this set. I guess we don't really have to because it's going to be screwed, but I don't know, I'll decide what I want to do. Probably be better to just let this sit. I don't know. Another aspect of this, I went to my garage and found this. This is I think this is from like Michael's or Joann's or something. That's like a craft paper kind of a thing, but it's really a foam, and it seems to have the right consistency to be a replacement gasket. So I got that. I think it's going to be okay. It's a little bit firmer than I would like. Then I also found this material, which I like better. Soft touch, secure items in place, prevent surface damage. Self-stick gripper blankets. This stuff is more like the right kind of foam. It's got the right feel to it. I don't know about this texture, but I think once it tightens, the texture wouldn't matter. But it's not big enough to cover, and I don't want seams in it, so I just brought this home for brought this here to the bus for a backup plan. All right, let's see if we can get this RTV to cooperate. I'm looking at that now. I need to put this on something where it'll sit rigid and not rock around. Oh, look at this thing right here. Will this do it? How about that? That ought to be enough. All right, let's see if this is going to cooperate. And the little things don't fall off. I wonder if I should do this the other way. Yeah. All right, nice. Let me get the screws in. Okay, here we are. I'm glad I put the plastic on because it rained like heck last night. So we're gonna, you know what, we should probably just take this loose and not mess it up, because something goes wrong, we can just put it back. All right, so we're gonna leave that there. Take off our old gasket, which is a little bit thicker than what we're putting back. Oh man, I just noticed a mistake that I made. These little threaded bosses have to go. Yeah. I'm kind of trying to hurry here because the only way to get this to squeeze is to install it. You know what I think I'll do? So I don't mess with the glue. I'm going to just install this right now without the gasket. And I'll come back tomorrow and put the gasket on. Okay, we'll leave that to tomorrow. Hey, it's Saturday, January 20th, and we are back at it. So this ought to be completely cured. Just pull that back to right about there. Okay, take this thing out. I'm gonna leak check the light fixture to make sure that the glue job I did is adequate. Well, it looks like I get to do this all over again. There's moisture inside. I evidently didn't do a good enough job of drying out the light fixture in there. Okay, for version 2.0 of this job, we're using the Loctite roof and flashing. This is a really nice urethane sealant. I like it, using it a lot. So we got about an hour's worth of cleaning up all the silicone off of this thing, and we're going to give that a assemble and see how that goes. Good, we got some decent squeeze out all the way around. Now I'm going to wipe that with paper towels dry, and then we'll peel the tape off, and it should have left us a nice clean line. All right, I'll take it. Not 100% perfect. I got a little bit of the spooge on the inside there. I must have touched it with my finger, not realizing. But I got just right amount of that stuff in there. And when I tighten the screws down, we're going to get a little bit more squeeze out. So let's go install it. Here's our gasket. What I did for this is I just put it up in there and pushed with my thumb really hard, and it made an imprint of where that pin is right there. And then I pulled it back and I cut the circle out with scissors. Okay, that's gonna be just right. Lovely.